the development related issues they would like to take into the account, even those things also need to be planned in the budget. For all this is why they are doing this. This is for getting an objective. So it is a plan, need to be expressed in monetary terms. It is prepared prior to a defined period of time. It is related to a definite future period. It is approved by the management for the implementation. It usually shows the planned income to be generated, expenditure to be incurred. It shows the capital to be employed during the period. It is prepared for the purpose of implementing the policy formulated by the management and the objectives to be achieved during the period. So all these are the important points to be noted, taking the budget as a base. Now, this is what budget we mean to say. Then what is budgetary control? Then budgetary control means we have to establishment of budgets relating to the responsibilities of executives. See, in an organization, if you take into the account, organization is divided into different sections or different functions. Production is one function, sales is another function, finance is another function, marketing is another function. Taking each function as a base, they have to establish the budget. Now, that's the reason why we will have a sales budget, a production budget, a marketing budget, a labor budget. So automatically, if employees were employed, so there we need to have a labor budget, a capital expenditure budget. So wherever the capital expenditure related things need to be taken care, they have to prepare that. Now finance, in the finance, we need to have a cash. So we will have a cash budget. So every function, if you take into the account, they are supposed to establish the budget. And some person supposed to be responsible for preparing the budget. So a responsibility of executives, like in a production manager is responsible. In the sales department, sales manager is responsible, or a sales director may be responsible. In the production director or production manager will be held responsible for the preparation and establishment of budgets. And you have to, first of all, what are the requirements of a policy? And requirements of a policy is like, let us say, if you want to implement in a labor budget, and see to it that always the laborers would like to see to it that their pay should be revised. A revision has to be taken place. In such cases, a policy, a remuneration policy need to be created, need to be implemented. That can be possible if you have the budgets being established. And not only that, coming to the continuous comparison of actual with of budgeted results. Now, always remember, budgets is a ceiling, is a limit, which we cannot go beyond out of it. So we have to perform taking that as a base. So within that only we can able to perform. We cannot go beyond that. So budget is always a limit, a constraint, which will make you to perform within it. So continuous comparisons we have to make, see to it that we will be able to get only taking the limited resources, we have to utilize them properly and minimize your cost, maximize your profits, taking your policy of a company into the account. So that we always see to it that can be possible as and when the budgeted results need to be compared with actual results. And you have to see to it that where is the cost, where is an effect, how to control. A revision is to be taken into the account. So an individual action of an objective of that policy is also need to be taken care, and it has to provide a firm basis for its revision. So revision, if it is required, we have to provide a basis for it and we have to revise that. This is a definition which is given relating to a budgetary control. Now, even the budgetary control has an essential features. The definition itself is able to give you those features. First is establishment of budget for each function. Second, executive responsibility need to set as well as they have to perform the specific tasks so that the objectives of enterprises may be attained. Third, a continuous comparison need to be taken care. The actual performance need to be compared with budgeted performance. Fourth, a suitable remedial actions need to be taken whenever the budgeted performance is, that is actual performance is over and above your budgeted performance. And revision of the budgets. Revision is because the current conditions you have to take into the account. Based on the current conditions, whatever the budget was set may be suitable, may not be suitable. If it is not suitable, then there is a need that you have to revise. So all these becomes the features of budgetary control. So now we have a budget, budgeting, budgetary control. So budget means it is a statement of income and expenditure. Budgeting is act of preparing the budgets. Budgetary control is it is a technique which a managerial persons would like to control the performances of organization, labor, resources, etc., so that they can able to achieve the attainable objectives. The next, coming to the budgetary control, objectives of budgetary control. Under the objectives of budgetary control, we have a planning, we have a coordination, control, reporting and evaluation. Planning. Here, planning is must. Even planning is required everywhere. Even your future need to plan. You, after completion of your degree, what is that you want to do in future? Now, how to proceed your life, that is also need to be planned. Without a planning, nothing can be done. See, whether whatever we plan may come true, may not come true, but even then, planning is a must. You have to see to it that plan need to be taken place. When you plan, things, one or two may be haphazard, but 95% of it will come true because it is according to your plan. So your life has to set, your career has to set, your firm has to set. Without planning, all this is not possible. So planning is a must. The next, coordination. Yes, one person, one department need to coordinate with the other department. See, sales need to be coordinated with production. Production need to coordinate with purchase. Purchase need to coordinate with marketing. Marketing is to coordinate with finance. Finance needs to, again, the marketing, because the sales revenues, etc. need to done. So automatically, if the payments are not made on time, people may not be willing to supply on time. If people are not supplying, production department may not get the material on time. If the production cannot be start on time, the sales unit cannot receive finished goods on time. If sales doesn't get, then they cannot send the goods to the outside market for selling purposes on time. So everything is affected. It is a teamwork. So coordination is required at every unit. In the same manner, control. If there is no control, then automatically the performances cannot be controlled. The organization cannot land into a profit position because there is much of capital is involved. If there is no control of a labor, there is no control on marketing, there is no control on purchasing, then automatically we may land into losses. So that's the reason why I always see to it the control procedures and methods need to be adopted in an organization. The next is about reporting and evaluating. See, reporting is whenever any policy which is being implemented, need to see to it that how it has been implemented, any problems it has been facing, or it could be able to solve it properly, or any person could not able to cope up. Those things supposed to be reported to the higher ups. So automatically communication is from upward to downward, but from downward to upward, it is a reporting which is to be done as and when it is required to whatever may be the levels of management, lower level, middle level, or a top level management. It's supposed to be reported on time, relating to a technique, relating to a policy, relating to the implementation, relating to the problem which they are facing, supposed to be reported. Then evaluating. Yes, a project, if it is accepted, then you have to evaluate whether it is beneficial or not, whether it is profitable or not, whether it is suitable or not. It should be evaluated. It should be, information need to be taken, and it should be passed on to the higher ups. So all these are the objectives of your budgetary control. So this is a must. The next, what they say is, there are certain essentials are also need to be followed. The essentials, if you take into the account, one is support from top level management. Whatever may be the budget, if we have prepared, we want to implement, first of all, we require a support from the top level management. If the top level does not manage, like supporting us, then we cannot be able to implement, and we may not be able to control the system. So top level people supposed to support them. The next, reasonable goals. See, which is attainable only, we have to set the goals. We should not set the goals which we cannot reach. See, I cannot become now as an IAS officer. That is out of order. See, age may not permit me, or the test may not be eligible to write. All that things are there. See, now I cannot go as an IAS officer. Maybe before 28 years of age, maybe we can be eligible to go as an IAS officer, for which we are supposed to attempt UPSC exam. We have to qualify, then we can be selected. So that means there is a procedure to be followed. There is a thing which need to be taken care of. See, you always see to it what is your goal, whether that goal is reachable or not. If it is a reasonable and reachable goal, then it should be set, it should be reached. If it is not reasonable, it is not reachable, then it becomes a problem. You should not set such kind of a goal. Even for an organization also. Organization, see, maximization of profit is a goal. Everyone's goal is to get a profit. That is a goal. That is a reasonable, that is a reachable goal. But they should not take into the account which is not reasonable. So that reasonable goals need to set, which is realistic. The next, clear objectives. The objectives should be clear. Participation of responsible executives. Executives' responsibility is also a must, because we have to see to it, the authorities need to be delegated, responsibility need to be created. See to it that the person who is the head of so-and-so department would be taken care of. What is a failure? Because failure is supposed to be controlled. If he's not controlling, you can make him responsible for whatever may be the lapses which has been taken place. That is the way you can control the performances. Then you need to have an appropriate accounting system. Yes, accounting system need to be followed. Which kind of a system you want to follow? Whether you want to follow the accrual accounting, accrual base of accounting, or a cash base of accounting, what kind of a system, like double entry system or a single entry system, what kind of a ledgers you want to maintain, all that is also should be applicable, appropriate to the nature of the organization. Because all those lists is being mentioned, you cannot maintain all those. Which is required, which is opt for that particular nature of the size of the organization, that need to be taken care of. The next, continuous budget education. Now, budget preparation is not an easy task. It is a very, very difficult task. It is only the experienced persons can able to do it. So that means the people who are inexperienced supposed to be trained in such a manner that they are also able to get a capability of preparing the budgets. So budget preparation is a continuous role which need to be educated to the employees in the system or in the organization, so that they can able to prepare it properly. The next, maximum profit is one of the objective of the organization, one or the ultimate objective of the organization, which need to realize that they should attain the maximum profitability. The next, constant vigilance. They are supposed to see to it that they are watching each and every incident, so that it should not land into the losses. They have see to it that their main goal is to attain profitability. whether they are able to get that or not. That vigilance is to be taken care. Yes, when you are implementing the cost, when you are budgets, when you are implementing the marginal costing, when you are implementing the standard costing, it is a heavy cost structure. So when you are implementing this, automatically organizational structure need to be defined. Each unit or each function need to have a specialized person being held responsible. So a talented person being made into in charge. So automatically an expert knowledge, a talented person need to be taken care of. So definitely he will not come for a lower cost. So high cost only involved. So it is the cost of the system is also more. But benefit also, you have to see to it what kind of a benefit you could able to get out of this heavy cost system if it has been implemented. The next is another one is the coordination with standard costing. Always remember, marginal costing, budgetary control, and standard costing, all the three are complement in nature. That is, if you want to implement one, automatically the other two also need to be implemented. Then only you can control the cost. If one is implemented, if other two is not implemented, then automatically you cannot expect to control the cost. So both, all the three, marginal costing, standard costing, and budgetary control, all the three is complement in nature and coordination with all this into the account. So all this comes under your budgets. Now coming to the different types of budgets we have. The classification of budgets. The budgets are being classified under 4 heads. One is coverage, capacity, condition, and the period. Under the coverage, we have a functional budgets and a master budget. Now coming to the functional budgets, under the functional budgets, we have a sales budget, we have a production budget, materials budget, labor and personal budget, manufacturing overhead budget, administration cost budget, plant utilization budget, capital expenditure budget, research and development cost budget, cash budget. These are the budgets which we are supposed to prepare under the functional budgets. And all these budgets supposed to be prepared by the departmental head, whoever may be. He may be a manager, he may be a director. If it is sales budget, sales manager is held responsible. If a production manager, for the sake of production, he will be held responsible. Materials budget, a purchase manager is held responsible. Labor and personal budget, a personal manager, a personal director is held responsible. Nowadays, they are called as HR. HR manager, HR director may be held responsible for that. Manufacturing overhead is a production manager. Again, he is held responsible. Like that, some will be financial manager. So whatever the kind of a budget which we are preparing based on that particular department, they will be held responsible for preparing such budgets. Now coming to the master budget. Master budget is a summary of all the budgets. Now in an organization, the organizations may have different functions, right? All functions put together. That means you have to take sales, production, marketing, purchasing, all put together. A summarized budget need to be prepared and need to be approved by authorities. When it is approved, it is called as a master budget. So master budget is all budgets put together, prepared a consolidated one, that is called as a master budget. Now coming to the classification, fixed budget and flexible budget. Under the fixed budget, if you take into the account, all your functional budgets can be taken under your fixed budget. But whereas the flexible budget means the flexible budget according to the volume of output. Now, or volume of activity you can take into the account. Volume of output or volume of activity. That means for 10,000 units, what is the cost? For 12,000 units, what is the cost? For 15,000 units, what is the cost? You are calculating and you are preparing a budget based on the number of units or the capacity of the organization. That is called as a flexible budget. This fixed budget and flexible budget comes under your capacity budget. Now coming to the condition budget, under that you have a basic budget, you have a current budget. Basic budget is in the starting of the year, whatever the budget which is prepared, years together you are following the same. You are not changing according to the current situations. That is called as a basic budget. But if you are changing according to the current situations, that becomes your current budget. A budget which is suitable for the current conditions is called as current budget. The next, according to the period, we have a long-term budget and we have a short-term budget. Long-term budget, if you take into the account, that is 5-year plans, 10-year plans, whatever the budget which is prepared for 5 years, 10 years, that comes under your long-term budget. Mostly it is capital expenditure budgets like metro rail establishment, that is a long-term budget, or the Polavaram project which is being comes under your long-term budget. So which cannot be like construction of a reservoir, construction of a dam, which cannot be completed within a year or 2 years, right? It takes a maximum period of 5 to 6 years or maybe 10 years. So those comes under your long-term budget. Now short-term budgets, like it can be 3 months budget, 6 months budget, or 1 year budget. That comes under your short-term budgets. Short-term budgets, every month budget is also like your mother is preparing a budget at home every month, because taking the salary as a base, whatever may be the budget which is being prepared month-wise, that comes under your short-term budget. So these are the different classifications of the budgets which we have to take into the account. You have each, if you take the functional budget into the account, sales budget, yes, you will have to work out the problems relating to a sales budget. Like that, production budget also we have a problem. Materials budget, procurement of materials budget we have, or a materials requisition budget also we need to prepare. Labor and personal budget, labor budget we have to prepare. Manufacturing overhead, administrative cost budget, these also we have a budget to be prepared. Flexible budget also we have to prepare. Cash budget also we have to prepare. So only plant utilization budget, capital expenditure budget, research and development cost budget, these are theory related. The rest are the problems you have need to be worked out. Whereas flexible budgets also problems you may expect. Flexible budget problems you can expect. The rest of the budgets like master budget, basic budget, current budget, long-term budget, short-term budget, all these budgets you can expect for a theory purpose. Whereas the rest you have the problems. Those problems you have to take into the account and you need to work out. Shall we work out the problems relating to this budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you following?
ఏవి వస్తే ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చెప్పరా మ్యామ్?
అమ్మా,
ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వచ్చే బడ్జెట్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చెప్పరా?
చెప్పనా? సేల్స్ బడ్జెట్,
ఓకే,
ప్రొడక్షన్ బడ్జెట్, మెటీరియల్స్ ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ బడ్జెట్,
ఓకే,
లేబర్ బడ్జెట్,
డైరెక్ట్ లేబర్ అని ఉంది మ్యామ్ మా దగ్గర.
లేబర్ బడ్జెట్.
ఓకే.
Then manufacturing overhead budget,
okay,
it can be manufacturing overhead budget, it can be administrative overhead budget, it can be selling and distribution overhead budget.
Okay.
Cash budget.
Okay.
So these are the budgets which you may expect the problems, right? Production budget is a small no, which you can expect for a short note essay, small question. Whereas flexible budget, cash budget, you can expect for essay type. Okay, let us work out the problems so that you can able to understand how a budget is to be prepared. I don't know whether you have those problems in your PDF file.
ఉన్నాయి మ్యామ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్.
Yes, ma'am. Sales budget.
No, I'll come back with you with sharing of the information so that you can able to see how to prepare a sales budget, a production budget, like that. Okay. I'll send you this. Let us work out this problem. Okay. Now, could you see this, which I'm sharing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Here you have a sales budget. The first problem itself is a sales budget. A manufacturing company submits the following figures of product X for the first quarter. The sales January, February, and March units were given. The target of the first quarter, sales quantity increased by 10%, sales price increased by 10%. And selling price per unit is 20. Prepare a sales budget for the first quarter 2018. So, Nana, here, see, to prepare a sales budget, you have to write it as sales budget. So, whatever you're preparing, see to it that title should be given. Okay. Now, here, the details supposed to be written here. And here, the units. Here is the rate. And here is the total amount. Because it's a very simple problem which is given. Now, in the details, you take the January. January, he gave you us 30,000 units. And he says the quantity may increase by 10%. So, you have to add 10% of 30,000. That means it is 33,000 units. Earlier it was 30,000 units. Now it is 33,000 units. Now for February, he gave you 25,000. That means it is 27,500. 10% of that is increased. 2,500 units plus 25,000 put together 27,500. The next is the March. March is 35,000 plus 3,500. It is 38,500. These are the units supposed to be taken relating to the present situation. So whatever the information was given, that information is related to past quarter. Now, coming quarter, you are supposed to increase the sales units by 10%. That is what we have incorporated and we have taken. Next, sale price increased by 10%. Earlier, the sale price was given as 20 rupees. And now he says it was increased by 10% of 20 rupees. That means it is 22 rupees. And it is the same for every month. So you have to multiply 33,000 into 22, Nana. You'll get that value in your total. 33,000 multiplied with 22 rupees. Is it 66 you are getting? What is the value? Hello? Are you working?
33,000 into 22.
33,000 into 22. Multiply.
7,26,000.
Okay. The next 27,500 into 22.
Six lakh 5,000.
6,05,000.
Okay. 38,500 into 22.
8,47,000.
8,47,000.
Amma, you add all the three, you'll get the total. This units total and your total.
Twenty-one lakhs 78,000.
Right. That is your total answer. Now units.
Units also we have to add, ma'am.
Units and total.
Okay.
$99,000, ma'am.
Right.
Yes,
So
yes,
units
ma'am.
are 99,000 and the total sales value was 21,78,000. So the sales budget, this is very simple, easy sales budget. Okay. A complicated sales budget was not given. It is very simple. You can expect for short note such kind of budget.
మ్యామ్ మరి ఒకసారి చెప్తారా మ్యామ్? 30,000 into 10%, 3,000, 33,000, 25,000 into 10%, 27,500. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ మ్యామ్
35,000 ఇంటూ లేదు నాన్న, ఇక్కడ తెలుగులో చెప్తాను, మరి మీకు ఎవరికి ఇబ్బంది లేదు అంటే చెప్పనా?
అంటే ఈ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ వరకు మ్యామ్.
ఇక్కడ ఏమైందంటే మీకు జనవరి, ఫిబ్రవరి అండ్ మార్చ్ లో వాళ్ళు ఆల్రెడీ కొన్ని యూనిట్స్ ఇచ్చారు. 30,000 units, 25,000 units, 35,000 units అన్నవి పాస్ట్ డేటా. ఆ పాస్ట్ డేటాని ప్రెసెంట్ డేటాకి ఎలా మలుచుకోవాలి అని అంటే, ప్రెసెంట్ లో వాళ్ళ టార్గెట్ ఏంటంటే 10% ఆఫ్ యూనిట్స్ వేర్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ అన్నారు. 10% ఆఫ్ యూనిట్స్ వేర్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ అంటే ఏంటి? ప్రీవియస్లీ 30,000 units. Add 10% of 30,000. 30,000 10% అంటే 3,000 కదా వచ్చేది.
అవును మ్యామ్.
యాడ్ చేయండి 30కి, 33,000 అయింది. 30,000 పాస్ట్ డేటా, ప్రెసెంట్ డేటా 33,000. అలాగే ఫిబ్రవరి, అలాగే మార్చ్.
ఓకే.
ఇక్కడ మీకు సేల్స్ యూనిట్స్ పెరిగాయి, సేలింగ్ ప్రైస్ పెరిగింది. ఆ రెండు అడ్జస్ట్మెంట్స్ చేసుకుంటే ఈజీగా చేసేయచ్చు.
మ్యామ్ ఈ 22 అనేది మ్యామ్?
22 కూడా సెల్లింగ్ ప్రైస్ 20 ఇచ్చాడు నాన్న. ఇక్కడ మీకు నేను ఒక్క నిమిషం,
20కి 10% ఇంక్రీజ్ అయితే 22.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది మీ దగ్గర ఆల్రెడీ డేటా ఉంది కదా, నేను ఇది ఎరైజ్ చేసేస్తాను. ఇక్కడ చూడండి,
జూమ్ అవుట్ చేయండి మ్యామ్. మరి
జూమ్ చేస్తే మీకు తెలుస్తుంది. మీకు ఇచ్చిన క్వశ్చన్ లోనే అట్లుందన్నమాట. నేను ఇది మీకు ఆల్రెడీ షేర్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే.
ఇదిగోండి ఇది చూసినారా? జనవరిలో 30, ఫిబ్రవరిలో 25, మార్చిలో 35. ఇక్కడ టార్గెట్ ఫస్ట్ క్వార్టర్ సేల్స్ క్వాంటిటీ ఇంక్రీజ్ 10%, సేల్స్ ప్రైస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ 10%. ఇక్కడ సెల్లింగ్ ప్రైస్ పర్ యూనిట్ ఇస్ 20. చూసారా?
yes ma'am. చూసాను.
Okay. Now the next question is production budget. Prepare a production budget for 3 months ending March 31st so and so year for a factory producing 4 products on the basis of the following information. See, type of product A, B, C and D. There are 4 products. Estimated stock on Jan 1st was given. Estimated stock on 1st Jan and opening stock. Estimated sales. These are the sales during the quarter. Desired closing stock. So every month, that is on 31st March, they have given you. This is per quarter. Opening stock ichadu, sales ichadu, plus closing stock ichadu. So మనం ఏం చేయాలి? ఇక్కడ మనకి ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఫస్ట్ సేల్స్ తీసుకోవాలి. ఫస్ట్ సేల్స్ తీసుకోవాలి, దీనికి క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ యాడ్ చేయాలి. యుల్ గెట్ సమ్. ఓకే, సేల్స్ కి క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ యాడ్ చేస్తే యుల్ గెట్ సంథింగ్, సమ్ యూనిట్స్, రైట్? ఈ యూనిట్స్ నుంచి డిడక్ట్ యువర్ ఓపెనింగ్ స్టాక్. This formula. Then you will get estimated production. This formula we have to follow. Usually మనం ఏం చేస్తాము? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. కదా? That is cost of goods sold calculate చేయడానికి. కానీ ఇప్పుడు we want to know production. When we want to know the production, opening stock, okay, this you can remember in this manner. I'll show you in another manner. See, opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, you will get cost of goods. Cost of goods. Kani, cost of goods is not equal to your sales, right? So what we are doing, okay, if you think cost of goods is nothing but your sales, if you think this is your sales, this is your sales, sales is given, closing stock is given, opening stock is given, this is your production which you have to calculate. For production, you are deducting closing stock. For sales, you add closing stock. Sales plus closing stock minus opening stock gives you your production. Yes? Do you remember this? Will you remember?
Sales plus closing stock
minus opening stock.
Opening stock.
Sales minus opening, sales plus closing stock minus opening stock gives you production. Formula. This is formula. This formula you have to apply and you have to calculate. So now I'm working out. Here we will write production budget. Right. Now I'll write here A, B, C, D like that. Here first I'll take the sales. Sales of A is 10,000. Sales of B is 15,000 and so on. Okay. Now I have to take the closing stock. The closing stock is 3,000 for A and 5,000 is for B. So if I add, you'll get here it is 13,000, here is 20,000. C and D I'm not working. Similarly, supposed to be worked out in the same manner. Now deduct the opening stock. Opening stock is 2,000 for A, 3,000 for B. So now that means 13 minus 2 is 11,000 units. This is your estimated production. And 17,000 is for B. Like that, C and D also we have to work it out. 11,000 units for A, 17,000 units for B. Like that, for C and D also we have to work it out. This is your production budget. Understood?
Once again.
Yes.
Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Opening stock 2,000, 3,000 ఎలా తీసుకుంటారు?
ఇక్కడ already gave in the problem, Nana. Estimated stock on 1st January is your opening stock, which is given in the problem. Nana, shall I rub this?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll rub this. Then you can see what is given in the problem itself. I'll zoom it so that you can able to see those values. Nana, here. See production. Second problem we are doing. Production budget. Prepare a production budget for 3 months ending March 31st. for a factory producing 4 products on the basis of following information. Here type of product is A, B, C and D. Now estimated stock on 1st January, that is opening stock. Opening stock 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 and 3,000. Estimated sales, that is during the quarter, 10,000, 15,000, 13,000 and 12,000. And desired closing stock, that is on 31st March, is 3,000, 5,000, 3,000 and 2,000. Got it? See, whatever we have calculated, 11,000 units for A, 17,000 units for B. This is the answer we got for A and B. Like that, we have to work out for C and D. That means 13,000 is for C, is the sales, plus 3,000, 16, 16 minus 4, that is 12,000 units for C. For D, 12,000 plus 2,000, 14, 14 minus 3. That means 11,000 units for D.
Ma'am, closing stock on March 31st is there, no? That is closing stock. Okay. Then what about the January to March 2018?
Jan to March estimated sales, Nana. A quarter related sales he gave you. Opening stock on 1st January. January 1st opening stock.
Okay, that is different.
31st March is the closing stock. 3 months తీసుకోండి నాన్న. 3 months తీసుకుంటే January 1st అవుతుంది కదా. January 1st నుండి స్టాక్ ఓపెనింగ్ స్టాక్ అవుతుంది. 31st March ఉన్నది క్లోజింగ్ స్టాక్ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే 3 months రిలేటెడ్ డేటానే మనం తీసుకుంటున్నాం. Followed?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Should I repeat? Now, shall I move on to the third question? Should I go for third question?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you seeing this screen?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, కొంచెం జూమ్ అవుట్ చేయండి మ్యామ్. జూమింగ్ చేస్తే మీరు స్క్రీన్ ఇలా అనాల్సి వస్తుంది. కొంచెం జూమ్ అవుట్ చేస్తే మాకు క్వశ్చన్ మొత్తం కనిపిస్తుంది. జూమ్ అవుట్ మ్యామ్ అంటే కొంచెం జూమ్ తగ్గించండి. కొంచెం మ్యామ్ అంతే చాలు మ్యామ్ చాలు. ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తుంది క్వశ్చన్ అంతా.
Okay. Now coming to the third question. The third question is the sales director of a manufacturing company reports that next year he expects to sell 50,000 units for a certain product. The production manager consults the storekeeper and cost his figures as follows. 2 kinds of raw materials, A and B, are required for manufacturing the product. Each unit of product requires 2 units of A and 3 units of B. The estimated opening balances at the commencement of the year are: finished product is 10,000 units for A. A is 12,000 units. B is 15,000 units. Desirable closing balances at the end of the next year are: finished product is 14,000 units. A is 13,000 units. B is 16,000 units. Drop the quantitative chart showing the material requirement budget. Now, the third question is relating to the material requirement budget. So, the material requirement budget supposed to be prepared. So, heading should be the material requirement budget. Now, see, he says first, the sales he gave you as 50,000 units. Now, openings, estimated opening balance he gave, closing balance he gave, finished stock. Now 50,000 units, finished stock is 14,000. 50 plus 14, so it comes to 64,000 units. 64 minus 10, that means you have now 54,000 units as your finished product. Got it? The same formula I've applied. Sales Add closing stock, deduct opening stock. Sales is 50,000 units. Closing stock is 14,000 units. Opening stock is 10,000 units. Got it? Followed? Now, the total production units were 54,000 units, Nana. But see, if this, see first 50,000 plus 14,000 is your closing stock, 64,000 minus opening stock is 10,000. So which is 54,000 is your estimated production. Your estimated production is 54,000. Now, material A, if you want to take, then 54,000, and he says 1 unit of the product requires 2 units of A. Now, 54,000 into 2. How much you are getting?
1,08,000.
1,08,000. This is A. And if it is B, if you take B into the account, 54,000 units require into 3. So 54,000 into 3.
1,62,000.
So Nana, first let us take into the account. See A, B. If it is 54,000, this is 1,08,000, right? And this is 54,000 into 3. Well,
1,62,000.
1,62,000. Now he has a closing related here 13,000, Nana. Closing stock of A. Closing stock of B is 15,000. So 1,08,000 and 13,000 is 0, 0, 1, 2, 1,21,000, and this is 0, 0, 7, 7, 1,77,000. Now, opening stock is here 12,000 and here is 15,000. So now 1,21,000 minus 12,000, you are getting 1,09,000, and here 1,77,000 minus 15,000, 2 and 6, 1,62,000, 62 or 63? It is 16,000, Nana. Sorry, closing balance is not 15, it is 16,000. So it is 1,78,000. So it is 163,000. This is the materials required, Nana, to produce A and B material. To produce a finished product of 54,000 units. Material A, you require 1,09,000 units. Material B, you require 1,63,000 units. Now you take any kind of a product. Nowadays, wooden tables are not provided, right? Because wood is very costly and environmentally it is restricted to cut the tree. In such cases, what we are doing? We are taking iron rods for the legs purposes, and decolumn sheet is for the table purposes. That is the top. So definitely there are 2 types of materials are required to manufacture a product called table. So that means product A is probably iron rods. Product B may be a decolumn sheet which is being put on in the form of a table, a plank. A plywood plank will be put on the 4 legs so that it should form as a table. So these are the A and B materials is required for a manufacturing of a table. So what is the, to produce 54,000 units of tables, you require A quantity is 1,09,000 units and B quantity you require 1,63,000 units. This is how a material requirement to be prepared. Like this, you have so many other problems also to be worked out. Are you following? Are you following, girls? I will send this to you. Okay. You can as well practice this. Is it okay, Nana? Are you following now? But according to the examination point of view, please study flexible budget and cash budget. Both those two are very, very important, Nana. Flexible budget and cash budget. Mostly we will expect questions on flexible budget and cash budget. And I think we have one more class that is tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And only the last unit which is left, that is standard costing and variance analysis. Are you following, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Hope. Okay.
మ్యామ్ రేపటికి 3 యూనిట్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా మ్యామ్, బడ్జెటరీ కంట్రోల్, స్టాండర్డ్ కాస్టింగ్, అలా అనాలిసిస్.
బడ్జెటరీ కంట్రోల్ ఈ రోజు అయిపోయింది కదా.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు చెప్పిన ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ బడ్జెట్స్ లో అనుకున్నాం.
బడ్జెటరీ కంట్రోల్ లోకి వస్తాయి.
ఓకే.
క్యాష్ బడ్జెట్ పైన క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుందా లేకపోతే ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుందా మ్యామ్?
క్యాష్ బడ్జెట్ మీద ప్రాబ్లమే వస్తుంది.
ఇప్పుడు మనం చేసిన 3 ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వచ్చేసి సేల్స్ బడ్జెట్, ప్రొడక్షన్ బడ్జెట్, మెటీరియల్ ప్రొడక్షన్.
అవునమ్మా, అవి అలాంటి బడ్జెట్స్ కూడా వస్తాయి. ప్రొడక్షన్ కాస్ట్ బడ్జెట్ రావచ్చు, సేల్స్ బడ్జెట్ ప్రొడక్షన్ బడ్జెట్ కలిపి ఇవ్వచ్చు. కాబట్టి ఎలాగైనా రావచ్చు. నేను మీకు సింపుల్ గా చూపించాను. పెద్ద పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. ఆ పెద్ద పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అంటే మీకు మోర్ దాన్ 1 hour పడుతుంది. అది పెద్ద పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ మనం చెయ్యట్లే, ఎందుకంటే దానివల్ల మీకు టైము ఎక్కువ అవసరం ఉంటుంది. మీకు మళ్ళీ వేరే వేరే యూనిట్స్ కి కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ చేయలేము. ఇప్పుడు రేపు ఇంకా స్టాండర్డ్ కాస్టింగ్ అండ్ వేరియన్స్ అనాలిసిస్ ఓన్లీ 2 యూనిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఒక బ్లాక్ లో. అవి చెప్పేసుకుంటే మీకు హోల్ సిలబస్ టచ్ చేసినట్టు లెక్క.
క్యాష్ బడ్జెట్ పైన ప్రాబ్లం చెప్తారా?
చెప్తాను, నాకేం అభ్యంతరం లేదు. రేపు చెప్పనా, కానీ స్టాండర్డ్ కాస్టింగ్ కూడా చెప్తాను, అది కూడా చెప్తాను. టుమారో ఐ విల్ డూ దట్. ఓకే
ఓకే.
ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్ నాన్న? ఎనీ అదర్ డౌట్స్? Okay, you read everything today and see to it. Tomorrow you come with your doubts.
మ్యామ్ రేపు 1 hour ఎక్స్ట్రా తీసుకుంటారా మ్యామ్?
తీసుకోవాలా?
అంటే మళ్ళీ మేడం రోజారమణి మేడం క్లాస్ ఏదో చెప్తే ఈ రోజు
లేదు
ఉంటుంది
లేదు,
కదా,
మేడం ఈ రోజు తీసుకుంటారు, రేపు తీసుకుంటారు నాన్న.
ఒక 1 hour ఎక్స్ట్రా చెప్పడానికి అవుతే చెప్పండి మ్యామ్, తర్వాత అయినా.
అంటే నాకు 6 classes అలాట్ చేశారు నాన్న. మరి లింక్ అది మళ్ళీ నాకు ఇస్తారా వాళ్ళు, నేను ఎక్స్ట్రా తీసుకోవడానికి?
తెలియదు మ్యామ్.
మీ మేనేజ్మెంట్ మీరు అడగాలి ఉంటుంది, రైట్? Because they have allotted only 6 classes. Taking 6 classes as a base, I have planned my syllabus so that where I have to touch, where I should not, because too much of time will take for the other things into the account. Standard costing is also very, very important area which need to touch, Nana. So theory also I need to touch and problems also have to touch. Material variance, labor variance, overhead variance, there's a lot. Usually, if we take such classes in the normal regular mode, where we will take minimum of 20 to 25 classes for each budget, standard costing, marginal costing, and fund flow, cash flow, ratio analysis. మీకు మొత్తం ఒక ఇయర్ కి కావాల్సినంత సిలబస్ ఉంది మీకు ఒక సెమిస్టర్ లో. చాలా వాస్ట్ సిలబస్ మీది. ఇది వరకు ఇయర్ కి చెప్పేవాళ్ళం, ఇప్పుడు సెమిస్టర్ కి వచ్చింది. మినిమం టు మినిమం 60 క్లాసెస్ ఈజీగా పడతాయి.
మ్యామ్ ఈ 6 classes సరిపోట్లేదు.
అవును, కానీ నేను చెప్పకూడదు. నేను చెప్తే ఏమనుకుంటారు, నేను ఏదో డబ్బుల కోసం ఎక్కువ ప్రొలాంగ్ చేస్తున్నా అనుకుంటారు. అట్లా ఉండకూడదు కదా.
అవును.
It should be a demand from you. It's not from me. Are you following?
ఎస్ మ్యామ్. అంటే మళ్ళీ తర్వాత సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఎలెక్టివ్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ కూడా ఉంటాయి కదా మ్యామ్. యాక్చువల్ గా ఇప్పుడు మాకు
those are different again.
మ్యామ్ ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్స్ కి మీరేనా మ్యామ్?
ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్స్ నేనే.
ఇండైరెక్ట్ ట్యాక్స్
క్లాసెస్ ఎప్పుడు ఉంటాయి మేడం?
What classes, Nana?
Indirect 2 classes.
I think it is from 7th on, no, 7th. What are the dates were given?
Not given any dates.
12th onwards, sorry.
12th onwards.
Yes. Those are also 6 classes only. We can meet only for 6 classes. Okay? Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Right, Nana. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.